All right, so this is an example we did in class February 1, Monday. It's a campground example, so this is just combining a few of the different elements that we've had for our discounted cash flow. So, to read it, you've been placed in charge of campground development for a private recreation company. You've been asked to assess the value of a site development option for a 20-year lease using a discount rate of 8%. It's an annual, so annual compounding and discounting. The facilities, the hookups and restrooms, will require an initial investment of $250,000 now and require maintenance costs of $4,000 per year starting at the end of the first year and $50,000 every 5 years starting at the end of the 5th year. You expect 3,300 overnight visitors each year and will charge $45 per night. The landowners informed you that the lease will not be extended, nor will they pay for any improvement you made to the property. What's the present value of this plan? So, what you probably want to do in these videos is just look at the question, right? Read it, pause the video, and see if you can work that out, right? Have a blank piece of paper and go. Okay, so if you're going to pause. If not, here we go. So first thing I would do is want to kind of break this into pieces. I think we can handle this in pieces. First part is initial investment, right? We got an initial investment of $250,000 now. Second part is we know we have maintenance costs of $4,000 a year. Okay, so that's a second part of this thing. We also have $50,000 every 5 years. So we got $50,000 every 5 years, and then we've got a revenue where we've got these 3,000 visitors, and we're going to get $45 a night. Those are our pieces. Our discount rate's been given up in there, and we want to know the present value. So timeline would look something like this. 20 years out into the future. Now 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We got these annuals going on. We have 10, 15, 20. So the pieces here are the negative 250 happens once and it sits there. So for that part of the timeline, I might do part 1, right? And our VO is just going to be it. I don't need to do anything to it. It's just negative 250,000. That is the present value. We're trying to get everything here. It's there. So I don't have to do anything else to that. I can move on to part 2. Part 2 is going to be this $4,000 every year, right? And so we have minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, and on and on and on and on and on. So to do that one, right, in part 2, if we look at our sheet, right? It's not a single, it is payment every year. Doesn't go on forever, right? This is just a 20-year lease. It's going to end there, and we want the present value. That's what we've been asked to do. So there's our equation. So part 2 is going to be this annual maintenance. Okay, and we know what the equation is going to be. It's going to be VO equals A 1 plus I to the T minus 1, and you want to get those brackets right, over I times 1 plus I to the T. So, right, got a timeline, got an equation. What do we know? We know the A in this case is minus 4,000. We know the I in all cases here is going to be 8%. And the other thing we're missing there is T. It's annual and it goes on for 20 years. It terminates. So now we can put that value in. VO equals minus 4,000 times 1.08 to the 20 minus 1 over 0.08 times 1.08 to the 20. Okay, and so that's that piece. So what you may want to do is if you pause it at different points, pause it here, see if you can get this right so that you know that you're matching what I'm getting. Okay, what am I getting? I'm getting minus 39,000 272, nice 7 there, Greg, 0.59, right? So that's my annual maintenance. So now I move back up into here. I've got annual maintenance, but I've also got a minus 50 that's going to occur every 5 years, right? And I need to get that considered. So that's part 3. And that's going to be periodic maintenance. Okay, so if we're going to look at what periodic maintenance would look like, so we know we're not single, so we got 4 of these we're going to do. It's not every year, it's every n years. Doesn't go on forever, and we want the present value. So it's this nasty guy here at the bottom. So let's get that equation written down. VO equals A 1 plus I to the T minus 1 over 1 plus I to the N minus 1 times 1 plus I to the T. Set that up there. Okay, so what do we know? We know A in this case is going to be minus 50,000. I in all cases here is 8%. And our T is 20. We're still going 20 years, but now we also have an N, that periodic thing. And that periodic thing is every 5 years. So I can put this equation in. So my VO equals minus 50,000 times 1.08 to the 20 minus 1 over 1.08 to the 5 minus 1 times 1.08 to the 20. Okay, again, you can pause it, see if you can make that work. Help you out in test if you know you're good at getting these things right the first time. What I get when I do it is 83,678.33. Right? And that's a minus, it's a cost. So those are my periodic costs, right? Now the last thing that we have is we're going to get this revenue. And so it's going to look a lot like these minus 4s, and that we get it every year. And I'm just going to use it as R's. Instead of A's, these happen every year all the way out. So it's a lot like this annual maintenance, and we could have combined it in this particular case to get a kind of partial net revenue at each point. But we're going to keep it a little separate. And part 4 is going to be our revenue. It's the same as this one in that it's an annual terminating payment that we want a present value for. But in this case, A is going to be, or what I have written up here as R, is going to be 3,300 times 45, right? Number of visitor nights times what I'm charging for those overnight visits. I is 8% and T equals 20. The equation is the same one I had before, so VO equals A 1 plus I to the T minus 1 over I times 1 plus I to the T. Got my known values over here, so I'm going to go ahead and just plug those in. VO equals, and here I'm going to simplify. So 33 times, or 3,300 times 45 is 148,500. It's 1.08 to the 20 minus 1 over 0.08, 1.08 to the 20. Finish that on it, right? And I should put that on something else here. Okay, so that's what I got. When I solve that on out, that is 1,457,000 994.89. Right? So that's what I get for that. So I've got my 4 pieces. And you can see the need when I have this thing. I have all of these costs and revenues coming in at different points in time, and I need to account for time and that discount rate. So I can't add them all together. But now, since I've compacted everything and all these VOs are right here, I can just add them together. And that's what I'm going to do. So I can sum them up, and my VO is going to equal, let's start with our revenue, 1457994.89 minus our initial cost of 250,000 minus our annual maintenance fees of 39,272.59 and minus again our bigger maintenance things we do every 5 years, 83,678.33. Right? When I do all that together, I get a present value for this of 1085043.97. That is the present value of this plan. So if I was in an agency or my private company in this particular case, and this bid is coming up for what you would want to pay or what you'd be willing to pay for this 20-year potential campground opportunity, with this plan, with these people coming, that's $1,085,043.97. If I'm going to pay under that for the lease, that's great. I can make at least my 8%. If I has to go over, if they want 1.3 million, I can't do it. Right, so that gives me an idea. It also allows me, and we'll see on Wednesday's example, we'll do a slightly different plan for our campground. It allows me to compare different potential campground plans and do it on the same footing. So, right, that's the example from class. Right, maybe you could try it, do different pieces as we go, and thanks, guys.